Hi, everybody. Welcome to Made from Scratch broadcast. It's Annie Leib, and we're going to talk about living with Annie-tude tonight. I am Gabriel Leals, the Real Leals guest host this evening, and he is my very first guest. We're doing a mic swap tonight, so I'm here also representing some Eagles green, which we know will upset my guest this evening because he is a Cowgirls fan, and we won't get into that completely, but let's bring him on and I will start the questions. What's up, my man? What's wrong? No Dallas hat tonight? No,
I was trying to take it easy on you. You know what? I said I did enough the other time. I said, you know what? I'll be nice and.
Well, it's like grit. When you're from Philly, you have a lot of grit, and you just sort of don't back down. When you're from Dallas, it's like a little different, you know.
Well, I think grit's a real funny word. Because that's grit is used when you describe sandpaper. You use it when you describe things that are, terrible. You go that tastes
terrible.
Like grit.
Oh, she's got some real grit. That just sounds terrible. Anyway, we're gonna flip this on you tonight. We're gonna go Eagles green always, all day, all the time.
Okay.
And here's what we're gonna do. Give me the inquiring minds want to know. I did a survey today, and I got a pulse survey, and I got some questions for you because you're always asking questions every night you do a podcast. Every night, rapid fire questions. You and I are tight. We talk about a lot of things together. We talk about mental health awareness, boundaries, toxicity, friends, enemies, all those things. But tonight we're going to do things a little bit different. So I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and you're going to answer, and you're only going to get an answer, and then we'll go from there. So we'll roll with it.
Okay.
Okay. Can you give me like a max 3-sentence intro to yourself?
I am love.
That's it?
I am love.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. You caught me a little off guard there. All right. So, I'm like waiting for the next 2 sentences. No, I like that. I like that. Okay. So now there's questions 1 through 15. So you have to pick a number 1 through 15, and that's the question that I'm going to ask you. Inquiring minds want to know. All of these people wrote into me and told me exactly what they wanted to know about you.
Okay, let's go number 7.
Number 7. What, Gabriel Leal, is your greatest regret?
Ooh, that is a good one. I think the greatest regret that I had was I did not have a closer relationship with my father. I did not try to get close to my father, knowing him as a man, until he was already close to death. So if I had to go back and say, what could I have done? I would have really spent time to figure out who my father was as a man. So my biggest regret is I didn't get to know him better. It caused me to learn more about my mother. I went and did a really in-depth interview with her to find out who she was as a woman. What were some of the things that would I didn't get to do that with my dad. And I had wished that I had taken the time to do that. So that's my biggest regret is I didn't get to spend the time that I wish I should have with him.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I could delve into all of these answers, but we'll delve later. So next question, next number.
Okay, let's go. Question number 10.
Number 10. What do you value most in a friend?
What do I value? You know what? Honesty. And I'll tell you why.
Please.
Because if you can be honest with me and call me out on my bullshit or tell me when I'm really doing good, that really puts me in a more trusting mood or a more trusting relationship with somebody. So if you see that I'm doing terribly bad, or if something's not really working, like somebody has told me before that, hey, you've got a real problem using a clutch word.
Such a thing.
Yes, but again, that's what me saying, okay, being honest and telling me straightforward that these are certain things that you can do or work on yourself, or these are really good things. Just being honest about
feedback. So if you enjoy, you think feedback is a gift.
It is. It is. I think it's the best way that I can learn more about who I am as a person and who I am friends with. I mean, you are you are who they say the people that you're around are what you're going to become. So if that's what I really want to believe, then I want just people who are really honest and open with me.
Nice, nice. Okay, so that's a great answer. Were you stuck between that and another answer, or?
No. That was a good one. So let's go and pick another question. How about that?
Number?
Let's go number 15.
Number 15. What is your mantra?
My mantra is that I've really taken on is, and I've said it a few other times on my show as well, is be the change you want the world to be. So if you want to go out and change the world, you're going to have to go out and make those steps yourself. So if you want to see something change in the world,
do it.
It all starts with you. So be the change that you want the world to become. And that's what I'm trying to do right now to live my life. Yes. Okay.
It's all in the action. All right, next number.
Number 1.
Number 1. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Ooh, I think you're watching it. It's called the Made from Scratch broadcast. So far, that's been my greatest achievement so far for a plethora of reasons. Number 1 is because I've met so many interesting individuals. Number 2, I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned so much about the world in general. So to me, these are all have been such a gift in my life. And I don't want to think about anything else prior to what happened, because again, I don't see a world without me doing something relatively close to this going into my foreseeable future. It's become a passion for me, and
you're being the change that you want to see.
And I'm being the change that I want to become. Right.
Okay.
Let's
number.
Okay. Let's see. We've done 1. Let's do number 14.
Number 14. Do you pee in the shower?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever wrote that question is a genius. I love you. You're incredible. So
that was definitely not my question.
Okay. Let's go with question number 13. Let's go down the line.
They want to know about it.
They want to know. Well, I'm being honest. What am I telling you? I'm being honest. You want to be honest?
You are being honest. What is the characteristic you most deplore in yourself?
Did I deplore myself? That I beat up on myself too much.
You don't have enough what?
I don't have enough attitude sometimes.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, I don't have enough self-compassion for myself sometimes.
Why do you think that is?
You know what? It stems a lot of this stems from me not understanding who I am as a person early on in my life, and always being a people pleaser whenever I was younger. So always trying to make people like me was a big problem. So I think a lot of me not being where I have enough self-compassion myself, say, hey, you are just like you are now, you're good enough. I never thought that. I still don't think that sometimes in some instances. I've had to tell myself, you know what, you're okay. It's taken a lot of time, and it's a struggle. I promise, it's a struggle every day. I look at, I'm a constant self-evaluator, and that's one of the things. And that's one of the things that I always tell myself, hey, you can, instead of saying you're good enough right now, I always say, you know what, there's something more that you should be doing. And it's not true.
What I started doing, Jay, I started saying, when I say to myself, when I have that voice in my head that says that I can't do something, I put yet on the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
Can't do it yet.
Not do it yet.
That doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means I haven't done it yet, or I can't do it yet. So
yeah, and it goes a lot to about perspective, and I've used this one before, and I'll say it again. Most people, when and I heard this from a Muslim man of all people, and such an incredible amount of wisdom he had. He said, most people will say whenever they pray, say, I pray to whatever God I'm praying to take all the burdens off my back. And you know what he said? He said, you know what? I don't pray for that no more. He says, I pray to my God that you make my back strong enough so that I can carry the burdens you know that I can carry. What a way to look at life.
Instead of take it away from me,
allow me the strength. Don't take it, give him more if you know I can handle it. So to me, that's where I say, you know what, for me, that's a way to look at life and say, I whenever I evaluate things, that's what I look at. And I go, let's look at this first.
Next question.
Okay, so we've gone down. Let's go question number 6.
What is your greatest extravagance?
For me, and I'm going to tell everybody, for me, hats are a big thing for me. As a youngster, before kids, I used to have at least over 200 ball caps.
You like the store lids?
Yeah, I mean, and even now, so here it is. When I started my show, I said, you know what? I'm going to start putting on my hat because I love wearing my hat. So hats are for me. I don't care. It could be it could be a $10 hat. It could be a $75 hat. But I love having hats, and I'll spend money on them even unnecessarily.
You know what's crazy is you have great hair. So it's not like you're a dude that's covering up like what
bald hair. Exactly.
You're kind of wasting it a little bit. Do you think it's sort of some sort of, I mean, I like the hat too. I like the backwards hat. That's cool. But I wonder if it's so symbolic for something, some sort of protection that you wear around.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. I used to have a thing whenever I would hang out with friends. I would always wear my hat straight forward like this, right? And, they would all say, oh, you're too plain. You're too blah, blah, blah. You're too this. So whenever Fungi wanted to come out.
Oh, Fungi.
Hat to the back, and they go, uh-oh, there he is. There he is. That's the one. And then
I like it. So that is interesting. So it does sort of protect you a little bit.
It does.
And it's like multiple, ways of G.
Yes, it does.
Many hats of G.
So that's why when I wear my hat on the show, I'm like, this is me.
That is you. You always have your backwards hat on, and I love that.
Okay.
But you do. I just to note, you do have great hair. You got a good head of hair, and a lot of dudes are probably pretty jealous of that. You're covering up with that hat. But, all right.
Okay. Let's go number 3. Number 3. Question number 3. Have we asked that yet?
When and where were you the most happy?
I can tell you when. It was no. This was one of the happiest for me. May 31st, 2007. That was the birth date of my first daughter. To me, I was crossing into the world of becoming a father. I remember it was the first girl that was born into our my immediate family, and everybody was there. And I remember whenever we came out and announced that it was a girl, everybody in the waiting room was cheering. Yeah, they were cheering. They were. So for me, I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but some of my passwords and stuff like that are set to that date because it's a really important date. And again, I can equate that moment of happiness to that
I
moment.
Can totally relate. I understand that. I mean, I'm dead serious when I say this, Jay. I'm serious as a heart attack. Anybody watching that knows me knows this is like Sammy's my firstborn. Here's his birth. As far as importance and happiness goes, and like that first like NFC championship win to advance, the Eagles was like right here, like it's really close. Yeah, like that's the amount of happy I was, which is kind of a lot, as far as how important he is and how important they are. So I know that I'm not normal.
Yeah, but you know what? I went through it 5 times before, so
it
wasn't.
You get jaded a little bit. That's why you have to keep getting bigger and bigger stadiums. It's like you have to make up for the other size problems that you have. Not you, but.
Oh,
so, all right, next question.
Okay. So let's see. Have we asked question number 8?
No, we have not.
Okay.
What do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? Besides this.
Well, that is a tough one. I think for me, it is one of the hardest ones for me was death, and it was death at an early age for somebody. I don't want to go too far into it, but he was a friend, and his death early on in my life was one of the really changing factors of what has, even now and to this point in my life, where it's developed me into the person that I've become. So it was very tragic to see death at such a young age and try to understand it and make sense of it all. Make sense of it all. And it really, for a while, it really fucked me up. And when I say that sometimes I go back to those places, that's where I go, and I want to get out of there as soon as I can, because again, it brings back a lot of pain.
Right. And I think a lot of times we as people try to run away from pain and discomfort. I mean, I know we do. It's just human nature. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to feel discomfort or pain. And I think that what I'm learning at 41 and going through sort of my life right now, and sort of a little bit of a transformation or a re-emerging, is that I need to be more comfortable with pain. And that it's okay to go back, like you just said, and feel that. It's okay to experience those types of feelings. It doesn't mean you're going to stay there.
No,
it doesn't mean you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that has to surround you.
And I've told you before, I've used these as tools. Because when I like sometimes to emotionally write, because I feel I get a lot out of it. So
when you say that, what does emotionally write mean to you?
Okay, so when I emotionally write, and this is I equate this to right after my father died, I went home and I wrote a whole Facebook post, tears in my eyes, couldn't even clearly make out the keyboards, but it was one of the choking up here, so give me a sec. Well, it's true. Let me compose myself a little bit. But I remember it was one of the best things that I had written, and my brother used it at his eulogy. So
it was pretty special to you.
It was. And I think that's where I like to go to those places sometimes, because I feel I draw a lot off of that emotion.
That's where your creativity is.
And the creativity goes, and it takes me there, and I go, you know what? I do like to visit those places sometimes, but I don't like to live there. I want to get out of there as soon as I possibly can.
Exactly what I was saying.
So it's tough to sit there and go into these places but I think, like I said, it's to bury it away and not use it and forget it altogether is just as harmful as.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said, if I go visit it and keep it there at some point and use it as a tool to help me get something good out of it, well, then I won't associate all the time as it just being a bad memory. I can think of it as, it helps me take me to another spot. And sometimes I love going there. It's just once I'm there, I need help getting out of that.
You don't want to stay. And I understand that fear so much. Like, if I have like some sort of dark time, I'm so scared I'm always going to be there. It's like that always feeling of like, am I going to be stuck? Am I going to be here? and I can't get out. And that's trauma that I've had to sort of work through.
Yeah.
So I understand that feeling, but you have me. So
Yeah,
that
exactly.
changes everything.
There you go.
Right?
That makes it a little bit better. That's a
great
good thing.
perspective, though. It's a great perspective to sort of use it as a tool and to remember that, you just have to self-talk. I'm not going to be stuck here. This is painful, but it's also a gift, right?
It is, and it to me to take death or take heartache or to take other things that you've had in your life and use it and kind of associate it with something positive at some point. I think that helps out.
That would help a lot of people that are pretty
It does. I'm going to tell you, it does. It's great to remember to go visit your past a little bit. And to me, I think that's what has helped develop me a lot more into becoming what I imagine myself to be here in the next few years, is the fact that I can go back and look at myself. And this is, again, just because of that incident early in my life, I started journaling early on at 17. And going back to go look at part of my past and part of these things and remember who I was and what I was and where I was in these moments, to me, that's like some of the greatest tools to go back and use and say, hey, I've come this far on this thing. Or, I go, you know what, eerily, I'm still at the same point that I was 10 years ago. So to look at those things and say, it's nothing better than reading your own handwriting and trusting that doesn't come from nowhere else except inside your mind. And
do you believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I believe in the supernatural. I believe in a lot of these things. I sometimes I feel that sometimes there's spirits and people that are around you. I can be sitting somewhere sometimes and I just feel the hairs stand up on my thing. And I know that to me, that's something saying something's around. I don't know what, I don't know who, but it's there. And it puts me in a little bit of a heightened sense. So I believe in them? Yes, I believe wholeheartedly.
Good ghost, bad ghost, the whole shebang? Like
all of it. Because again, I think it equates the same thing to life.
Do you believe that people come back? Like, do they come back, or it's everything that there's?
You know what? That's an interesting thing to think about. I've teetled and toddled on that before, saying, and I even catch myself without even thinking. You say, when I come back, if I come back as this, or if I come back as that, I've heard it out of my own mouth. And then sometimes I go, you know what? I think once you're gone, you're gone. Your spirit is into a whole nother plane.
That's what Jews believe. We believe when you're dead, you're dead. There's not an afterlife. There's not a heaven and hell.
Yeah. So I'm writing that's one of what my second book is kind of about, is being stuck in that middle plane of if you
cross over.
Yeah, before you cross over. Yeah. So, what if, because your soul, if you're essentially believing that that's your soul just goes, what happens though, if your body's still alive, but your soul is you're being kept alive by machines or whatever. You don't have no mental function, but your soul's there. It's not free to leave where it's supposed to go. So where does it go while it's in limbo?
Like this, almost like on an elevator somewhere.
Yeah. So that's why that's why I call my second book The Middle Plane, because there's a plane somewhere where somebody's because again, you don't know if you're going to live or die. So the soul can't go up to wherever it's supposed to go if it's not officially gone from the earth.
Right. And what if we just made all this up as people? Like, what if when you're dead, and we just made up, we just made this all these stories up, and that's just what helps us get by? Because
again, it's all about what you believe in, what faith is. Again, I've told people and I equate it to oxygen. Oxygen's real. Oxygen's a substance, a chemical that we use, or else we wouldn't be alive. but you can't grab it, you can't hold it, you can't jar it, you can't do any of these things, but you have to know it's real because you wouldn't be alive. Same thing with faith. If you have faith and you really do truly believe in it, same principle. It's there. You can't grab it, you can't see it, you can't understand it sometimes, but it's real.
It like really bothers me when people don't believe. Like, I don't try to convince them differently, but when someone's like, there's no such thing as like a God, or it doesn't matter what you worship. It's just like, I believe that there's a higher power. There's something that is, I know I have a guardian angel. Like, I know that as clear as day. I could tell you 100 stories of why I know. But, there's religion, and there's like what we believe, and then there's like the stories that we tell and what we think, and then what we really feel. So, I don't know. I just wanted to see what you thought. Next question.
Okay. So let's see. I forgot what we have left. So
you just did 8.
Okay.
That was the lowest depth of misery. Oh, and then I gave you an Annie question.
Okay. So let's go.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Singh. He said great questions, awesome answers.
Yeah. So yeah, he is. Okay. 15,
right.
14.
Stick to the program. Sorry.
Hold on. Try to think. 15, 14. Have we done question 12?
We have not.
Let's go to question 12.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Go ahead.
How would you like to die?
How would I like to die? That's an easy one. I would like to die in my sleep. Go to bed one night, not wake up, don't remember nothing, and wherever I'm meant to be afterwards, I'm there. To me, that's an easy one. I've learned how to. I've learned how
seamlessly and just gone.
Just gone. Lay down. I mean, and another day's come to an end. I got to lay my head down on the pillow, close my eyes.
I agree. I don't know why there would be.
Adios, my friend. Adios, my friend.
See, it's been real.
It's been real.
I need to give a shout out to my mother. My mom hooked me up with these questions ideas. So some of these are mine, but some of them are the Marcel Proust questionnaire, which is like the modern interviewing questions. So I had to. Oh, hi, Mary. I have to say something. That's my best friend. So she's giving me a shout out, and I know she's not like all up on technology, so this is probably like a big deal. But anyway, my mom like totally hooked it up. She was like, ask him these questions. So I can't take all the questions.
That's okay.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
The lower numbers you're totally skipping. Like you're like
okay. I need to ask question number 4.
Number 4. What is it in life that you most dislike?
What is it in life that I most dislike? Greed. Greed, and I'll tell you why. Greed can destroy some of the strongest relationships. The most loving people can have their lives ruined by greed. I know I've lived a life where I've seen greed destroy a family. Kind of opening the book a little bit about myself. My grandfather started a Mexican food service company back in 1950. They made very, very good money. And the byproduct of it was that my father and my uncles had a very better lifestyle. A lot of access to things that most people at that points in their lives don't have access to. So they saw money coming in, and I mean not just small amounts of money, really good money, millionaire money, and it got to the point where that was the main focus of everything that they wanted to do. I mean, literally, it destroyed them so much so that even now, my father's gone, but my other 3 uncles are still alive. They cannot sit in the same room together without fighting.
It's a shame. I feel like everybody has a little bit of that in their family somewhere.
It is, but
it sucks.
Greed escalates it to a whole nother level. Because again, they see and I tell them, I've said this to other people before, but my father's reality at 18 and my reality at 18 were two different realities. And what I mean by that is they had the cars that they wanted. They had name brand clothes. My father had in his closet. My father would not wear anything less than a polo. If it wasn't polo shirts, he did not wear them. And I mean,
that was a status symbol for him.
Of him, yeah. That's what lined his closet. He never washed his clothes. His clothes was always taken to the cleaners.
And this is what he valued. This was what was important to him.
Yeah, and
he resonate with you. You didn't feel that's important.
Because
what would you say to your kids if they said if you were about to explain to them how not to be greedy? What would you say? And like what
would I tell them?
Daddy, what does that mean? Like what?
Yeah,
what greed.
Yeah, so I kind of do it right now already with the video games that they play. They fight over this, over that, and I have to explain it to them that what you have here and what you have, this game, quote unquote, that you have, or this whatever object is that you got, it is only a material item. And I'll show you. I can grab it, I can tear it up, I can throw it away, and the problem will be gone. But you will still have an underlying problem if you still keep wanting what somebody else wants. Which is
somebody else has,
what somebody else has. Yeah, exactly. So I try to explain to them to be happy with what you have. Because again, you might not have it. Then it
can be taken away very easily, as we see with what's going on in the world right now.
And that's why, like, I explain to my kids all the time, you have to understand that what you have, even if it's not the best in the world, it's a luxury.
It's a good lesson.
It's a luxury. What you have, it's a luxury in life. There's a kid somewhere even in this country now who doesn't even have a roof over their head. So if they're living every day in a shelter, they're living every day with not knowing where their next meal is going to come from, all these things that are going on in life, and you're worried about how many V-Bucks you can buy on Fortnite.
Why can I relate so much? If I'm asked for more money for V-Bucks one more time, I swear to you, it's like, enough, no. And it's not $25, it's like $26.50. So something's $25.
That's right. So, Dave. So, yeah, that's a good question. I always ask that question on all my shows, sort of pertaining to what he was saying right there. But he was just asking, when life is over, what do you want to do? What do you want to leave behind? That's my go-to question at the end of every show.
What's your legacy, right?
This is when the book is said and done on you. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind, and what do you want to be remembered for?
I'm the interviewer here, so
I know you are. I'm just telling
you're
you.
Like asking questions, they're not even on my list.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So we're all on the lower none. So let's go.
I'm just kidding. No. You can say your legacy,
which
we've talked about before. Go ahead.
No. Here's we're sticking to the script.
All right,
today.
stick to the plan. David, no more
questions. Mumford.
No, they can write in their.
Okay. I believe. Let's see. Number. Have I number 10? Oh yeah, I have 10. I have 9.
Okay. What is the trait that? No, we already asked that one. Sorry.
Okay.
Who is your hero?
Ooh, who is my hero?
Can be live, dead, real.
Yes.
Real. If it's Superman, it's Superman.
No. My hero is my father. And that's kind of like what I wrote in the last thing that I written after he passed away, was that he was my hero.
And you didn't get to tell him that, or?
And I didn't get to tell him in no uncertain terms that he was. Even though I wanted to. I mean, the last 2 weeks of his life, I was every time I would go, I was literally crying, breaking down, because I knew death was coming.
And that was scary.
And that was scary for me. When instead of me taking it, that's why I take the perspective now that I have to see death as a blessing. Because again, 100% of us are going to die. That's a fact. So I take it in. I take it into account that death is. I have to see it as a blessing because again, it ends the cycle of what your life was created for in the first place. You're literally born to die, so you've reached that end point. It's like reaching the goal. The goal of when you're born is to die. You just don't know when or how, but it is to die. You're going to die, and it's a time on Earth is finite, but what happens in between is what you got to work and concentrate on.
Right? What counts?
It's what counts. So that's what I see. So okay.
So you have 11 left.
Okay.
You have 13. You have 5 and 2.
Let's go in order. Let's go number 2.
Okay. What is your most treasured possession?
My most treasured possession.
I guess that's the same thing as saying if
Wow. No, that's a good question though. That's a good question. What is my most treasured possession? Wow, that one really caught me off guard. I haven't thought about that. Yeah,
you got one pass in this game.
No. Let's see. Okay, let's pass. Let's go number 5. I'll pass that one.
Okay, you got to pass on that one.
Yeah.
Number 5. What is your greatest fear?
Ooh, my greatest fear. For me, I've had this scenario go on in my head, and I hate that I've done this. But for me, one of my greatest fears is what would happen if one of my children died.
I've forbid a million times. I have to say, poo.
Yeah. I don't like
to. Big fear and understandable.
I don't like to think about it, but I have. So to me, that's one of my biggest fears is to think. I hope the natural selection is that I go before my kids. So I can't imagine what
we all have those thoughts, Jay. We all have that fleeting thought once in a while. It's just if you stay there, that's not good.
11. Let's go number 11.
11. Okay. If you could change only one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Wow. If I could change one thing. So could this be like any sort of? I mean, does it have to be real?
Is that the answer?
Because I would say if there's one thing that I could change about myself, I wish I was taller.
Okay, that's fair. I've never met you in person. As much as I adore you and love you, and we're so tight, but I don't know how tall you are.
I believe it. I'm 5'9". I wish I was 6'4", but I'm not. So
no, 6'4" is pretty tall.
It is pretty tall.
And you have a couple bonus questions too from the audience, but
okay.
The last question is if you were not a death question. If you were to die and come back as a person or thing, what do you think it would be?
You know what? If I wanted to come back, I've said this a few times. I wish I could come back as a dog, just because.
It's pretty good. They just don't live long enough, but they do. My parents' dog has the greatest life ever.
I see.
I want to come back as their dog.
Well, I see some people's dogs, and they get up, they get to go eat, they go. Some dogs. I mean, it's just like being a human. Some dogs get good luck where they live as kings and castles, and then you have dogs that have to stray it out on the street and figure out how to live life. It's just like being a human. So if I wanted to come back, I would want to come back as a dog.
As a dog. Okay, so now here's an embarrassing one. Could be, could not be. I don't know. What is the what is the last picture you took on your cell phone? And you can show it to the audience, or can you not?
You know what? I can't. It was actually one. It was actually one that I took of myself, and it was a picture that I sent to you. And it was, come on, pull it up.
Oh, it was the Dallas. It was the Dallas. That was the last picture you took? That was like a few days ago.
I know. So
God, I took a lot of pictures, I think.
I don't take a lot of take a lot of pictures as far as like, so and I'm not counting like screenshots. I'm talking about just pictures of myself. So that was the last picture that I took of myself.
That was the last selfie.
Yes, was me sending you a picture of that beautiful cowboy hat that I had on.
You sent me a selfie and said, "I'm wearing your favorite hat." I vomited, and then I had to call him after I vomited and say, "That's clearly a joke because I would never." So you and I do have a bet. You want to tell the audience about the bet?
Okay, so here's the bet. I wanted to come up with this, and I said, if they do play football this year, November 1st, my five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys go up to the link to play the Philadelphia Eagles.
Our house, just so we're clear.
And I made her a bet, and I said, look, if they win, I will buy a Philadelphia Eagles hat, and I will wear it a whole week on the show, and I'll have to advertise it front and center. So you guys see me 5 nights a week. You'll see the hat.
No backwards
hat.
Yeah.
It'll be front forward, and you'll see the that god awful green on there. And
yeah, like it looks like this, right? Looks like that. Okay. What's next?
So then I said to her, I said, and if the
flip side,
if America's team goes up there and wins, I said
it's never going to happen.
I said
Dak?
She will have to come on the show, and she will have to wear Dallas Cowboys shirt, and she'll have to make her profile picture the Dallas Cowboys star for a week on her social media of her choice, and that will be her.
And this is how strongly I feel about this. I took that bet, guys. I took that bet. So this is going to be seriously fun. This is like life is on the line here, because if I have like agita right now, thinking of like putting that as my profile picture on. I don't care if it's Twitter, which I don't even tweet. I don't care. Just putting that next to my name is just not good. So we need to come out to play, boys. And I'm not even worried. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you throw up on my screen? Seriously. Can people see this?
So there's one.
He's talking about these rings. He's like, Troy Aikman is the quarterback. I swear to God. So
that's
you realize the people you're surrounded with? Come on now.
That's okay. I said, you know, I said if all women should understand it, that they love a man who's about rings and, you know, long-term commitment like that. So yes,
long-term commitments. Field. More antiquated, if you will. So the theme that I found with you is love throughout, and the other theme that I found with you is fear of loss. Mm-hmm. So those are my two takeaways from your interview, and you did a really good job on the hot seat. So I have to thank you for you know, coming to play and having a great attitude and just being willing to answer my questions and with all heart. So thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me do this. I appreciate it. It was really fun.
Always, anytime. So we do have a lot of special things planned coming up, and I will not let the cat out of the bag just yet, because that will be my fun time to do that. But for me, getting the opportunity to have these kind of conversations every day, and hopefully, you know, quote unquote, as you learn these journeys or whatever, you'll start feeling so much different about life and people. And because number one, you'll see that there's a lot of people out there who who have the same, they have the same kind of heart, the same kind of ambitions, the same kind of drive to want to make a difference in the world. And when you start having these kind of conversations with those folks, it changes the way that you look at life. It changes your perspective every single day. And to get to do that every day, you want to talk about, even when you're in your shittiest moods, whenever you're having your worst day, let somebody come on here who tells you their story about how they've had a double mastectomy, that they're, that they've battled cancer, they're still battling cancer, that they had brain injuries, and yet they've still taken those conditions and they've risen above.
Mm-hmm.
Take that
and
into
it feels like togetherness, right? Like, doesn't it feel like we are all in this together sometimes when you get in these talks?
It does, and that's the whole point, is to bring these. That's why I said every day I have to pound people over the head with positivity. Every day, anything. That's, you have to, because it's so much easier. Wait a minute, before I say, I was going to say something. Hold on, I got to show you this. Hold on. So, oh, Kenneth, Kenneth, you are.
I didn't even ask the sexy questions I had.
Yes. So, but going back to the point, whenever you get the whole idea that started formulating with when I started doing shows and started reaching out to people, I always had it in my heart that I wanted to be a positive person, that I've always wanted to share that part of what I've done. But it kind of naturally took on that progression, because a lot of the people who are quote unquote were the creatives that I were looking for had a positive attitude. So I said, you know what? That's an interesting aspect about it.
And you bring each other up. Don't you feel like that? Like you and I, how we interact every day, and like you raise me up. And
you should see how there's episodes where I've had people that just fire me up like a rocket. I'm going to shout out to her, Michelle Mraz. If you're not connected with her, she was a firecracker, so much so that I wanted to get out of my seat at that moment. So let's go do something. I don't care what we do. Let's go do something.
I love that. And that's like, without this, you couldn't have done that, right?
Without this is what I said. So going back to something that you had said on social media, asking about 2020. And for me, I said, I don't ever want to forget 2020. I don't want to change 2020. Yes, for some people.
That was an incredible post when you responded to that.
So I said, for some people, I know and understand it. It's brought heartache and tragedy. But for me, it has been one of the most life-changing experiences in my world. And I don't want to go back to business as usual. I don't want to go back to this, because I love who I am now. And you grew from it. I love the potential that I have. I mean, I don't want to lose that. And maybe that goes back to my fear of loss and me being naive, but I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to forget that. I don't
having a great attitude. It really is. You got a good one. You have a good perspective, and every day you lift a bunch of us up, and you're doing what you said you were going to do. That's pretty cool. You came here to make moves and change lives and make an impact, and you're doing that. And that's what I found out from this hot seat, and I already.
Yeah, but for anybody out there who's watching, and there's a few people in here that are actually at that point along in their journeys. So like David was an interesting person when he came to me, but he didn't have exposure. He didn't, he was still trying to figure out who he was and what his voice was. And when we had a conversation, I said, sure, come on the show. I mean, you see people like him, he's starting to blossom. He opens up. I see him on lives now. I see him on all sort of things. I saw the potential. You can see the potential of somebody. So I know there's other people in this world, and some of them are watching right now, that I thought you were going to ruin my train of thought, but you did. Yeah, Stop for a second. But
but you're right. I mean, there's people watching that you're influencing, and we're influencing right now. And you and I have spoken about this before, about having a voice.
Yeah. So if
sharing yourself with the world.
If I influence somebody, I hope it's influencing them in the right way. And I've told other people that want to come on and want to talk about tips and strategies and all this other crap. I said, I'm not the show for that. Not that I don't want to. Believe me, if you give me the time to study and do and go dig knowledge on it, no problem. Let's do this. We'll put it all together. But to me, this is something that I've kind of thought up in my own mind, and I want to start kind of coining it. But I don't want the person that's there from 8 to 5. I want the person that's there from 5 to 8. I want that person's life. I want to understand that person's life, because that's where you get to be a real person. I mean, you go home and that's where all the worries and the headaches or the happiness and the joy and all that stuff is found in those moments. Exactly.
So I have one last question for you.
Ask me.
My last question is, if you got a box delivered to your front door and it was tied up in a bow and you had to untie the box, this is my own question, by the way, and what you found inside told your story, what would the box look like inside?
You know what? It would be pages. Pages, 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 pages. Because that's what my life has been, is pages. Writing,
Stories,
learning, even connecting. They've all been pages. Each one of them just as important as the next. Each one of them explaining who I was or what I was or what I'm about to become.
I love it.
So if I wanted to do that, that's why I say I have the heart of a writer who wants to keep writing. And it's always been a passion for me, and it will be until I'm no longer here. So
I like it.
There you go.
I like
there you
it. Good gift you got on your porch right there.
A good gift I got.
I got to give a shout out to Mikey because I really missed him tonight. When it's just me and you, and as much as I love you, like the three of us, there's something that we have going on, and I miss that dude tonight. So just giving him a shout out.
Give a shout out to him. He's always cool. And
Mikey, good stuff. Good people.
Yeah, good people, good folks.
But you were amazing on the hot seat, and I would. I've got a ton more questions, but I have like unlimited.
We have finite time.
Yeah, that's what you got tonight, my brother.
That's what I got tonight.
Thanks for letting me take over the mic.
Anytime. And I've told this, and I've put this out here into the world, and I said, anytime you want to come hop in this seat, you let me know. I'll set everything up. Just like this gentleman right here, he's got an opportunity coming up here in a couple weeks. He will be on the hot seat. He will be running the show. So I believe me, I just did 2 shows back to back where I wasn't even supposed to be. I wasn't even supposed to be the star, quote unquote, or the personality. I was just here as a guest. So I love being in the hot seat, and I love being on the other end, because the most fascinating thing about what I get to do is I get to go into somebody's mind every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go dig in there because there's something in there that I can find that I can use. It's like going to a junkyard every day and just trying to find something that's useful. You get to open their mind and go,
yeah,
look, I found a shiny this, or I found so.
It's true. And you knock on the door and it's like, what do they let you see? You know, do they let you in? Or do they let you just look in through the door? Are you looking through the window? Like,
when we start, when we're starting, I'm looking in through the window. By the time I'm done, I'm already at the back door. So I already know.
Hey,
yeah,
you're good. You're good.
I try my best, believe me. And
bring it.
It's been the years of reading, studying, learning, and continue learning that help drive me and help me want to become a better, I don't like to say man anymore. I'd like to say better person. I think man, you're putting limits on what it is. I want to be a
like a better person, better version of yourself.
Better version of myself.
Do you use Just for Men?
Do I use Just for Men? Hell no.
Yeah, because like you have a really dark beard, but your hair has gray.
It is the weirdest thing in the world. I don't have an explanation. I started getting gray hairs at 18.
Just for Men in your beard.
Yeah. No, I wish that would. It's funny because my brothers asked me that as well. My brothers, they go, "How in the hell's your beard really dark and you got all these gray hairs?" And I go, "I don't know. Just." This is not just
I'm sorry, I let the cat out of the bag, bro.
No, this is all 100% organic, all natural.
I love it. I'm gonna catch you sometime painting it on.
No, I used to do that when I was younger. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I used to get like a eyeliner pen so I could darken the mustache a little bit. Oh, check it out. It's darker and full.
Don't you find out when you start asking questions?
Yeah, exactly, right. So that's what I did, and I keep it dark, and I go, oh, cool. I don't have to do that anymore, though. That was when I was like, when I was 18 and trying to, think it was. Yeah. So yes, I have gray hairs. I've been getting gray hair since I was 18. My son, he is 6 now. Last year we found a gray hair.
So this is what makes no sense about your beard.
I know
this doesn't make sense. So
it's a total enigma.
It is an enigma.
And I think it goes so much so to my awesome genetics. That have
genetic prowess.
Yes, that have blessed me very, very much. So
the genetic gods. I hear you, man. I just wanted to ask. I thought that was an important question to cover for everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I'm an open book, guys. You come on here every day. You know who I am, and I'm crafting a little bit more of my story so I can crack it open, you guys, and you'll be able to see all inside of this head.
And I love being part of it. Thank you for allowing me.
Yes, anytime. And then Mr. Padurano, anytime as well, Senor. You're aces in my book. So, all right, everybody. I guess we'll go ahead and end on that one and just say, everybody, tell everybody good night, Annie.
Good night, Annie.
All right, guys. I will be back. I will be back here tomorrow evening, 7:00 Central Standard Time, with my guest Bella Marciano. She's got a really, really interesting story, and I think Sarah, who's watching early, you might want to watch this one. So, thank you so much. Yes. So, Sarah, if you're watching, yes.
Have a great attitude.
You have a great evening, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow at 7:00. Bye-bye, everybody.